Just wanted to talk, that's all.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Who's ready for another late night of baseball? You know, I typically hate West Coast games, but I'm trying to get myself into the mindset that it's just kind of like a vacation from my routine, right? I typically like to get into bed by 10:30, 11 o'clock at the latest. At the latest. I'm one of these early to bed, early to rise kind of guys. And, I'm trying to treat these late night games as a chance to, take a vacation from myself, right? Enjoy some music. The house is pretty much quiet. I can, catch a movie before the game starts, that type of thing. I just kind of have a little bit of a change in my routine. But the Yankees will try and make it 7 series wins in a row tonight. All right. Hopefully, some of you will stay up and watch it with me. Although if you tune in tomorrow, that's fine too. I'm going to say something right now that makes me sound very old. Very, very much like, a get off my lawn kind of comment. These kids today don't know how good they have it with sports and the access to highlights and stats. When I was in about middle school, I used to read the box scores every single morning in the paper. We would get into school about maybe an hour before the day began. Buses were still arriving. And, we didn't have like a homeroom at that point in the day. Basically, you hung around the lobby. You would play paper football. That little game with the triangle football? You'd play that. And we had access to the library. I was always somebody who would sit in the library and I would read the paper, right? My dad and I would, go into school and he would stop and we would get egg sandwiches and I would get the paper and I would read the box score. But I hated it when the Yankees were on the West Coast because I couldn't get the stats in the box score from the night before, right? Now, I mean, you pull out your phone, you go to, MLB.com or whatever. But back in the day when I was 11 or 12 years old, if I didn't catch the early Sports Center highlights or whatever, or if I fell asleep before the game was over, there was no way for me to get the stats until after school was over. I hated that. So these kids today are lucky. The future is better. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. So the lineup just came out. We're facing Tyler Alexander, who is a left-handed pitcher. So no Dominguez in the lineup tonight, which is kind of expected. I'm going to share my screen with you real quick, and we're going to take a look at it together. Paul Goldschmidt back out there in the leadoff spot at first base. Trent Grisham in center field. Been slowing down as of late. Aaron Judge in right field. I think he's due for a multi-home run game. I'm not going to predict a multi-home run game tonight. I think he's due for 2. It's been a while since he's hit 2. Cody Bellinger in left field tonight. Anthony Volpe, the big 3-run double last night at shortstop. And I'm going to play a voicemail on him in just a minute. We got Ben Rice at DH tonight. DJ LeMahieu back in there at second base. Austin Wells behind the dish. And Oswald Peraza at third base. He can really pick it, man, but it's about time for him to start hitting, for sure. Let's go ahead and start with a voicemail tonight before we talk about Carlos Rodon. Let's talk about Volpe. All right, hang on. Here we go.
Derek, my message is simple. Enough with the Volpe hate from Yankees fans. I don't get it. He's a likable guy, a homegrown guy, and people act like he's batting 190 with a 580 OPS. He has 6 home runs. He's batting about 250. He has 31 RBIs, which is third place in the team, just one behind Bellinger for second place. He plays incredible defense. He has a nearly 800 OPS. I don't understand why people don't say that he doesn't come through in the clutch, because he obviously does if he has over 30 RBIs before the end of May. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's having a good year. And something I'm going to do tonight on the show, in the postgame show, is I'm going to take a look at who's on pace for what. We're going to take a look at some guys that are on pace for, X amount of RBIs, X amount of home runs, X amount of stolen bases. We're about a third of the way through the season, roughly. So I think it's a good time to kind of do that, check in and see what kind of year guys are putting together. But you look at Volpe's numbers. I mean, his StatCast numbers are great. His regular numbers are, coming into form here. Obviously, You'd like for him to hit better than 244. If he hit 270, that would make us all feel a lot better. And he still has some at-bats where he looks completely overmatched. I think part of the reason he gets some hate, and hate might be too strong a word, but he gets a lot of criticism, is he didn't really take a huge step forward from year 1 to year 2. Yeah, he improved his batting average, but his on-base percentage was still under 300. His OPX actually went down from a very satanic 666 in 2023 down to 657 last year. He hit less home runs, so he had 9 less home runs. He only had 4 more stolen bases. This year, the average, the on-base percentage, the slugging percentage, the OPS, everything is up. And if he's able to maintain this, he's going to have a 4.5 to 5 win season when you take into account his defense. So, yeah, I think he gets criticized a little bit harshly, and I think fans a lot of times, hold things against young players that maybe they shouldn't, right? I mean, he's had a learning curve. He had a little bit of an adjustment period coming from the minor leagues, but I think he's coming into his own as a player. I really do. Another guy who's coming into his own is Carlos Rodon. Carlos Rodon's turnaround is not one you often see with the Yankees, period. A lot of times when a player comes to the Yankees and they struggle right away, it spirals. It just collapses. The pressure, the spotlight, the noise from people like me and other podcasters and radio hosts, it eats guys alive. Joey Gallo, Aaron Hicks, Sonny Gray, Kenny Rogers, Kiyagawa. I mean, Kiyagawa just sucked. But, a lot of guys, they get to the Yankees. Ed Whitson's another one. They get to the Yankees, and the spotlight is just too much. The criticism is just too much. They struggle, and it tears them down. But we as fans need to understand that wanting results now doesn't always guarantee them, right? Some guys have an adjustment period. It takes a little while to get comfortable. And Rodon, he's one of these guys. He got off to a brutal start. I'm going to grab a sip of my coffee real quick. He got off to a brutal start. By the way, these late night games, are a great chance to do something I was going to do anyway, but have an actual excuse, which is to drink my coffee at night. A lot of people don't like to drink coffee at night. I do. But this gives me a legitimate excuse. Anyway, we fans, we can be severe in our judgment. We want the results now, not tomorrow, not when you get comfortable, now. And Rodon, he just got off to a brutal start with the Yankees. Physically, he didn't look like the guy we thought we signed. He had put on some weight. He just looked weird without a beard. Mentally, he looked completely out of sync. The injury to the back, the attitude, the whole blow a kiss at the fans moment, which, by the way, was in Anaheim. I'll admit it. I judged him. You probably did too. We all did. Most of us did, I'd say. But, man, you have got to give credit where credit is due, because Carlos Rodon has turned it all around. He has reshaped his body. He has gone from being kind of like a thick, husky guy to being a jacked, focused athlete. His metrics have gone back to where they were before he got to the Yankees. They have become elite. And he didn't just get his velocity back. He got his identity back. He's always had intensity, but he's dialed it in over the past couple of years. The metrics look terrific. Pitching run value, fastball run value, breaking ball run value, all elite. Off-speed run value in the top 25% of the league. He's missing bats, getting a ton of strikeouts, keeping the whip. Look at the whip. It's steadily dropped since coming to the Yankees. From 1.45 in his first year in 2023 down to 1.22 last year and down to 0.96 so far this year. He's on pace to win about 18 or 19 games, depending on what happens tonight. He's evolving. He is no longer just trying to get through the game. He is back to dominating. Gone are the days when it was just high fastball with the occasional slider. Now he's using the sinker. He's getting ground balls. He's using the changeup to disrupt timing. He is learning how to pitch. Some of that credit has to go to Matt Blake, and probably some to the other Yankees veterans, guys like Garrett Cole, guys who've been around the team like Andy Pettitte, who worked with Carlos Rodon. He's pitching. He's not throwing anymore. When he got here, he was a thrower. Even for a lot of last year, he relied on stuff, and he was throwing. Now, he's pitching. And look at his last 7 starts. 5-0 record, 1.48 ERA. 52 strikeouts. And let's not pretend this year began smoothly either. The 3-run home run was definitely a concern earlier this year. You know, we were playing the meatball song.
Time to stop throwing these fucking meatballs.
And you know what? He did. Something has clicked. He has been flat out dealing. And, you know, last year he had 16 wins. This year he could beat that if he keeps it up and keeps getting run support. I used to dread the days when Carlos Rodon was scheduled to pitch. I would dread them. I felt like we were going to be in a 5-0 hole by the 3rd inning. But now, I look forward to Rodon Day because he gives us a real shot to win every time out. He pitches with the right attitude, not a bad attitude. He's out there with a winning attitude. He has transformed, not only physically, but mentally, from someone weak to someone strong. And that is not just rare for the Yankees. That is rare, period. He has earned his redemption from us. He has earned his pinstripes. I will admit that I was wrong about him, and I can't wait to watch him pitch tonight. All right. So the Yankees better hope they get a good outing out of him because the bullpen is completely gassed right now. And we knew when Fernando Cruz went on the IL that it was going to thin out that bullpen a little bit. You got Weaver now. He's been struggling the last couple of days. We did get a call about him as well. Let me play that.
Hey, what's up? I hope I don't have to eat my words, but I do like that even though Weaver's struggling a bit, that he's throwing his cutter. I don't think he's thrown that pitch in a month. Anyway, hopefully we get a win.
Yeah, I mean, last night was a little bit of a tight wire act, more than we're used to. He had one against Colorado. But again, lights out closer. And 0.73 ERA. We shouldn't jump on this guy every time he has a tough outing. He's been phenomenal. And guys just don't pitch to 0.7 ERAs for the whole season. He's going to have ups and downs, right? Especially when he doesn't allow a lot of ground balls. His ground ball percentage is low. His strikeout percentage is very high. His chase percentage is great. And he does it with not an overwhelming fastball. It's 94.3 miles an hour on average, which is below the average for a right-handed pitcher, which is 94.6. But he mixes it with fantastic command of the baseball and the changeup, and as you mentioned, the cutter, which he's throwing 8% of the time at 90.8. And it's not a huge difference between his fastball and the cutter, but that's okay. You want those pitches to kind of look similar. The changeup, it's about a 7 mile an hour, slightly more than 7 mile an hour difference. And the slider, he doesn't throw it a lot. I think you should throw it more. 4% of the time, 86.8 miles an hour. Mix one in a little bit more often, when you're struggling. Give guys a fresh look. Just don't hang them, because those get banged. But, I mean, Dreamweaver's been fantastic. But I am concerned about the bullpen tonight. I think we're a little bit light in the pen tonight. All right, let's get your predictions in.
This was built by a wizard.
All right, my predictions tonight. Paul Goldschmidt, back in the lineup. I think he's going to have 2 hits tonight. He is hitting over 500 versus lefties. He's hitting 548 versus lefties right now, which is insane. And combined with what Aaron Judge is doing against lefties, I mean, it's very tough for these lefties right now. And when you consider that Giancarlo Stanton is coming back soon, that's going to make it even tougher because he mashes lefties too. So we're going to turn a weakness, which is hitting against lefties, into a strength, and partially due to Paul Goldschmidt. I also think 8 strikeouts for Carlos Rodon tonight. Gregory Wayne says Rodon for 8 innings, William for 1 would be ideal tonight. I'll take that. I'll sign up for that right now. Dominic predicts a belly bomb. I'll sign up for that too. He is a stud out there. He's been playing much better. He's got the average up over, I believe, 268 right now. So, hey, we love what we're getting from him. All right, quick word from our sponsor, and then we'll be back with a couple of more voicemails and your comments.
Kratz, I'm going to let everyone in on a little secret. I am not a fan of carrying around physical cash. I go Cash App. where you can send, receive, or transfer money with family and friends. It's super easy. They've got your back too. Like if you're trying to send some money and you maybe put in the wrong account name, they'll be like, hey, this is a sketchy account. Are you sure you want to send this? Cash App has your back. They do it safe, securely, easily, and fee-free.
And all you got to do is download the app, and Scott can actually pay for his half of dinner.
Exactly. For a limited time only, new Cash App users can use our exclusive code to earn some additional cash. For real, there's no catch. Download Cash App, sign up. It's very easy, and use our exclusive referral code Territory in your profile. Send $5 to a friend within 14 days, and you'll get $10 dropped right into your account. Terms apply. That's money. That's Cash App.
All right. Jincy Hops says 2+ RBIs for Bellinger tonight. I'll sign up for that as well. Manuel Robles says Rice and Judge hitting bombs. Rice hasn't gone deep in a while, it feels like. When was his last home run? Was it in Sacramento? I feel like it's been a while since he's gone deep. Maybe he's slowed down. You know, I feel like him and Trent Grisham, some of the magic has worn off a little bit. You know, it's probably just a slump. These guys are human, and they're bound to have ups and downs. But, you know, when they're swinging, we're winning. And the Yankees have won 14 out of their last 18 games. Donnie Clark says that Rodon goes 7 innings tonight. We will take that as well. All right, couple more voicemails. Tom in NC.
Hey, Derek, it's Tom from North Carolina. Hey, man, you got to feel good where the Yanks are. I mean, especially in the weak AL East. But I noticed that they have the second best winning percentage in the majors against teams that are above 500. So they're playing well against good teams overall, which is obviously great to see. But one comment for you. I know you're a big Mattingly guy. Me too. Yesterday I watched a doc called Donnie Baseball. There was actually a segment where Hal was interviewed, and he mentioned that Donnie said to him one time that one thing he hated about George was that George always traded away the farm to try to win right now, and didn't kind of take that future outlook. And that Hal took note of that. And of course, you know, we all know the dynasty happened with the core five there. But hey, you know, what we've done with the youngsters this year, kept the Volpes and the Rices of the world when, you know, we could have done more of those Soto type trades. And just to see how they've responded this year and being such a big part of the mix, well, you know, maybe there's something to be said for Hal, and maybe we should give him some flowers every once in a while.
Appreciate the call. Yeah, I mean, first of all, I love that you called it the core five and not the core four, because I don't think Bernie Williams gets the credit he deserves. He's not considered part of the core four. But to me, Bernie Williams kicked off that renaissance in the 90s. And I was actually at his first 5-hit game of his career. So, yeah. And, you know, how he does some things right. You know, he made the phone call to seal the Judge deal. And, yeah, I mean, they seem to hang on to the right people. And the guys they've traded away a lot of times don't become much. We've had, that isn't always true. You know, Joaquin Arias, Josh Smith, both became really good players, you know, from the Gallo trade. But a lot of these guys that they've dealt don't become much. You know, a couple of pitchers from the Montas deal worked. You know, J.P. Sears has turned into a pretty good pitcher. So, you know, I will give Hal a little bit of credit there. And final call as we talk about the bullpen.
Hey, Derek Core from Long Island. Great show you got. Thank you for always doing it. Question is, what do we do in terms of the middle of the bullpen? Obviously, Weaver, who's struggled a little bit still, is nails. Devin Williams has come around. Do you think we should bring up a guy like Carrasco as it starts to get to the dog days of summer and try to have him be a long reliever, get 2-3 innings? Or do you think they should trade for a guy? What do you think? Thank you for everything you do. Have a great day. Bye.
Appreciate the call. I actually had the thought of Carrasco coming up and just kind of eating some innings this week because you want to be fresh when you play the Dodgers this weekend. Dodgers are no joke, especially their lineup. Their pitching is kind of injured right now, but you do have a day off before that series. If you can get a great start out of Rodon tonight, maybe, let's say 7 2/3. You know, this might be one of those games where you push Rodon to throw 115 pitches, right? and then you kind of save the bullpen. What you really don't want to happen is for Rodon to exit early tonight. Like, I don't know what the weather is looking like in Anaheim, but if you have some kind of a rain delay where he has to come out, or God forbid he gets injured or something like that, it just screws your bullpen for the rest of the week. I wouldn't be opposed to, sending down somebody like, Pablo Reyes if you're allowed to. I know you have to have a certain amount of pitchers and a certain amount of hitters on the roster. But if we could find a way to get a fresh arm this week, it would be nice. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I will catch you after the game. I'm going to have a little Derek night for the next few hours and kind of get myself in the mood for some night baseball. Today we will talk about, on the postgame, players and what they're on pace for this season. Volpe and he's on pace for about 18 home runs and close to 90 or more than the 90 RBIs. Judge is on a ridiculous pace as always. So we'll go over the numbers exactly tonight. And of course, we'll spotlight Rodon, see how he does, and take your call. So call in 718-899-1068. It's just me tonight, no TK. So tune in, and we'll see you after the game. Hey, while I've got you here, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Pinstripe Territory is the official Yankees podcast of the Foul Territory Network. We are home to the #1 most watched MLB postgame show on YouTube since 2021. We're here after every Yankees game and for reactions to all the best news and rumors during the offseason. Be a part of the show by calling into the voicemail 718-899-1068. Try to keep it clean for me. And if you ever miss us on YouTube, be sure and subscribe on all your favorite podcast platforms. Go ahead and rate us 5 stars. It'll help other people find the show. Thanks for watching. See ya.